Hello, this is Dan Sullivan with dansullivanhealthcoach.com, and today I wanted to touch on alcohol consumption and how you can still have your cake and eat it too. So a lot of people ask me, I want to go out, I want to have a good time, and then I want to also have some alcohol. So what should I do when I'm on, let's say, a diet? I want to keep my weight stable. I want to look good. How do I balance the two? And so my go-tos are always a couple no-nos that I try to avoid, and then a couple of my go-tos. So I'll talk about the no-nos first. I'll start with beer, right? So beer has a lot of carbohydrates, right? I've talked in previous videos about carbohydrates. When we consume too many carbohydrates, our body basically shuts down the ability to burn our own fat as storages. So if we have too many refined carbohydrates coming from a liquid like beer, or even in our daily diet, like the pastas and the gluten-containing grains, a lot of that stuff packs a heavy carbohydrate punch. So we definitely want to avoid that. The other thing with beer is that a lot of beer contains aflatoxin. So there are these little mold toxins present. They're present in a lot of things. A lot of coffee will have mold toxins. A lot of grains as well. So just be careful of that. If you do want to have a beer, I would highly recommend getting something very low carbohydrate. But again, you're going to be running into the issue with gluten. So gluten is the protein component in wheat, and a lot of people do have problems processing that. And gluten causes a lot of GI issues, a lot of GI distress, and there's something called leaky gut, which happens as well, which is kind of a whole other topic for another conversation, but that's just another thing to be aware of. So beer is sort of out because of that. So the next one is wine, and so I know a lot of people like wine. I love a glass of red wine. The key is with wine is I would say to eliminate the white wines, or at least the sweeter white wines. The white wines generally tend to be sweeter, more sugar laden than the reds do. So what I normally do is I will stick with a dry red, so a higher alcohol content and less sugar, something like a Malbec, preferably from South America. Those are the ones that I really like. So you can try those out, but again, the principle being lowering the amount of sugar and the amount of carbohydrates that are coming in from that alcohol source, whatever it be, whether it be the beer or the wine. So now, what do I normally drink when I would go out or, go to a concert, just having a good time, so number one, you don't have to drink to have a good time, but if you do decide to drink, I would suggest something higher quality, a higher quality liquor, like a potato-based vodka. It could be a gin, like a top shelf gin, something like Hendrick's, or something like a tequila. So those are all going to be gluten-free. Just watch out for the vodkas that are wheat-based or grain-based. There's a difference between the potato-based vodka and the grain-based vodka. So the distillation process takes out a lot of the gluten-containing proteins in an alcohol. So you pretty much have to do a Google search if you want to get into the nitty-gritty on what drinks include gluten, what drinks have gluten in there, and then what drinks are gluten-free. Some will say right on the label. I know Tito's advocates that they're gluten-free right on the label, so you can check that out. But that's my go-to, is some sort of potato-based vodka. It could be a high-quality gin, or it could be a tequila. So again, those are all gluten-free, and they're all relatively low in sugar. So that's good when we're talking about staying in ketosis. If you're not familiar with that term, I did a whole video on that. That's basically the ability of the body to burn its own fat storages, and to be able to do that, you have to limit the amount of carbohydrates that you're consuming. So you're basically consuming more of a higher fat intake of healthy fats, moderate protein, and then very low carbohydrates with a very high nutrient density. But I digress. So The other thing you can do alongside those alcohols, the potato-based vodka or the tequila, is some kind of a soda water. So the carbonation will actually ramp up the process of the alcohol getting in your system, so you get a bigger bang for your buck. And then that also, when you do that, you have a mixer that's zero sugar. So watch out for the club soda, or there's another one, I forget the name of it off the top of my head. It shows you how much or how rarely I go out and drink, but there's another one that basically is like seltzer water or soda water, but I believe it's called club soda, and that has a lot of sugar in there, but yet tastes almost the same as just seltzer water, just straight up carbonated water. So the carbonation helps again, and then another mixer that I like to use is fresh squeezed lemon or lime juice, especially in the tequila. Tastes quite nice. So that actually has a potent amount of antioxidants, vitamin C. And so when you have alcohol coming into the system, that creates a burden on the liver function, so the liver has to metabolize that. And our livers are already pretty overburdened as it is, so we really want to lighten the load on our livers and give them all the help that we can. So one of the ways you can do that when you're drinking is definitely either you can take with you tablets or pills of vitamin C. Normally I would take between 500 milligrams to a gram of vitamin C per drink, for a couple of drinks or so. That also, reduces the reactive oxygen species, or ROS, and that caused from the alcohol, and that actually can go in and age you faster. It can create wrinkles in your skin and all kinds of nasty stuff that you don't want. So the vitamin C helps to combat that. So again, normally what I do is just take a couple vitamin C pills with me, and just have those. The other thing you can do is take something called activated coconut charcoal. So activated coconut charcoal has been something that's been used for thousands of years, and basically what that does is that binds to the toxins in the alcohol and helps you to excrete them. So that's another one you can use, kind of a 1-2 punch there for your alcohol. But again, the key concepts are going to be staying away from, or at least limiting the amount of the beers, the wines and such. And then also the mixed drinks. There's a lot of sugar that they add to mixed drinks. So just be cognizant of that. It's not a, thing that you can never ever have, but just be cognizant of that. And then if you can, ask for the seltzer water, ask for the high quality liquor, get a simple mixer with some fresh squeezed lime, and have yourself a drink. Be safe out there, and if you have any questions, comment below. I can put links to the vitamin C that I use and the activated coconut charcoal. But again, if you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to answer them. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching.